Hey Eddie, I already filmed this once and it was a lot longer, so I'm going to try to be really short and to the point. Um, my learning goals that I had set for my beginning orientation were to read, not just to get it done, but to read and apply it to what I was doing. And at my first placement, I was actually about to have the opportunity to do family therapy, so that would have been I would have been able to apply it. However, it was a really toxic place for me to be at, and so I was not able to like feel like what I was learning I could apply. I was more in just like a constant survival there. And so now that I'm actually at a new placement, but I'm not doing family therapy, and family therapy is not at all part of the program. I see myself being like, oh, I would do this functional therapy, I would do this. And having the opportunity to do that assignment in your class was really helpful. And then also having the opportunity to do that in another class that I have this term was also really helpful. So overall, I would say that I really did take the readings and like think actively about applying them towards the end of the term once I was in a different headspace and I was able to like process and apply things. I didn't speak up as much as I would have liked and as much as I said that I would have liked. Um, I think that that's just going to be hard for me in general. Like I'm not a super verbal person in front of a group, and so I think that's always going to be a struggle for me. But I tried. I feel like maybe I spoke up once every. Not really. I spoke up at least once towards the beginning of the term, but towards the end I definitely dropped off. Um, I feel like I really did learn a lot about the different family therapies. Um, and I feel confident about like moving forward if I'm in a placement or wherever job I get, if I have to do family therapy, being able to like find the best fit for a family. Um, and so I feel really confident about that. One thing that I did notice from an assignment was my family genogram one. Um, I've gone to therapy for years for my family dynamics, and I've never done a genogram actually in therapy. They've never had me do a genogram. And so doing a genogram, seeing all the dynamics in one place, and then having to reflect on that was really, really hard for me, which I didn't think it was going to be, which is why it was kind of such a bad paper. I just wrote it the once, and then I didn't have it in me to go back and edit it at all. So that was just like one time, just like blah, 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 and then turn it in. And I know that's like, who does that in grad school? That's the dumbest thing you could do. Um, but it was a lot harder for me than I thought it was going to be. So that was something that I really learned. Um, I don't think I made like a huge impact in class. Like I said, I didn't speak as many times as I said that I would have liked to have spoken up in class. I missed some chunks, like a couple hour chunks, just because of doctor's appointments, because I was sick a lot that term. I think it had just had to do with stress. But um, yeah, I definitely don't think I detracted from the learning community. Um, but I also don't think I enhanced it. I'm just kind of a neutral party. Um, I think I brought myself as fully as I could have. I spoke a lot in my original paper about just feeling like a car on empty and just feeling like I'm driving on fumes. And I think I'm doing a little bit better now. Switching my placement was really, really helpful. Um, and so, I mean, I did the readings, I did all of the assignments. One big thing to me is like always not asking for extensions, and I didn't ask for extensions. And so that was a big deal to me because I was just like, coming home so late to write papers every single day is really hard and stressful. And so, not having to ask for those, I was like, okay, I'm doing it. um, and I read the assignments, and I feel like I thoroughly learned. Like I feel like I engaged with it, and I feel like even in my placement now, where I'm not doing family therapy, I'm like, I would do this. So as far as grades, when I filmed this earlier, I said A minus or a B. And I feel like I'm leaning more towards an A minus just because I still brought everything that I could. Um, I I met my goal of reading to to apply as opposed to just reading to read. I didn't meet my goal of speaking up in class, but that's okay to me. It wasn't like a part of claiming my education to me at all. Speaking up in class just adds more stress to me when I have to do it. And so I set that goal. I didn't quite meet it, and I'm not upset about it. I don't think it took away from my learning at all. So I'm still okay with that. If you feel like it should be different, definitely let me know. And honestly, like I said in my paper, I'm not a stickler about grades. So like if it needs to be a B, totally fine by me. But I feel like I still did everything that I could, and I read everything, and I did the assignments, and I'm applying it. I'm trying to apply it. And I showed up every single day, even though I feel like especially at the beginning of the term, was a lot harder to show up every day. But, everyone has their own rubric that they created. And I feel like I just kind of was hoping to survive this term. And I feel like I did that, and I didn't ask, like I said, have to ask for extensions or anything like that. So I feel like I did pretty okay for myself. So I would feel comfortable with an A-. Again, if you feel like it needs to be a B, that's totally fine by me. Yeah. Anyway, have a great day.